Hello and welcome to this episode of Engineering Hour. When it comes to business critical solutions in network security, over 65,000 customers spread in 150 countries rely on Cyberoam technologies. Driven by a team of around 600 professionals, Cyberoam is led by a man who is equally at ease with technology as well as the business side of it. Today we have with us Mr. Hemal Patel, the CEO of Cyberoam Technologies, who would be unraveling his journey and telling more about his understanding into the whole journey of network security and his global footprint which he has created overall through these years. Mr. Patel is a technopreneur who has worked and helped some of the major organizations across the globe, to name a few: Merrill Lynch, JP Morgan Chase and others, to establish their IT infrastructure. I welcome you, Mr. Patel.
Thank you.
The first and foremost, our viewers would like to know what all drove you into this entire business of IT infrastructure and network security. Was it more of the traditional Gujarati business acumen, or was it something more beyond that?
The Cyberoam, which was previously was Elite Core, and it is my fourth startup. Previously in my life I have 3 startups, one in US and then 2 ISP, one in India and one is Puerto Rico. All 3 has a common element. All 3, consulting firm and ISP, are service venture. So I decided completely do differently. So you can be successful, either you do something different or you do same thing efficiently. And I looked around the company in India, and most of the company in IT are the service company. So I say, let's start IT product company and take it to the global. If you really think of it, in India, there aren't many IT product company that has gone globally. You can count in your hand, and that is what the start, and that has been our thread. So we started an IT product company, and then the rest of the journey I can reveal as things progress.
Okay. That's so. What was your key inspiration? One was you wanted to have a product company in India, and as you have said that you have been in serial entrepreneurship and technology. So what actually inspired you?
So first of all, you will always hear from entrepreneurs or anybody that failure is a part of life. So I have done many failures in my life also. But you learn from it, never get disheartened and try something new. In this particular, of course, whenever anybody starts anything, they want to be successful. So you try to put one key element, what will make you successful. And when I studied, most of the IT product company that comes out of Sunnyvale, California, most of the company, either they die in 2-3 years or they get merged to somebody. So I knew from beginning that I don't want to be that, and nobody will trust me. So what I want to do it is sustain as long as possible. So that was the key mantra. So key element of success was sustain as long as possible. So for that there are 3 planning parameters. One was remain profitable from day one. This is on 1999 when I started. Market and sell where your sales and marketing cost is very, very low. So basically Middle East, Africa, Southeast Asia. And third, put your operation base where you face the minimum attrition in IT, because product company cannot afford the attrition, and also real estate cost is low. So that will completely fuel into the profitability, more and more profitability, that will give me a sustainable growth. Of course, in IT company you need a fund, but at least it will be slow, but it will be sure. And that was the fundamental of start.
Okay, that's great. So before finding Cyberoam, you were working in California? You were working in the city?
No, I always worked in New York City as a consulting firm, advising, because I started my own consulting firm initially, and I was advising and managing the infrastructure project for them, where I see the security is getting really heavy. Especially when the internet is coming to our businesses. I think there is a lot of nuisances coming. But as time progressed, different threats started coming up,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we just stayed ahead of everything,
Mm-hmm.
and that is how we moved.
Great, great. So you position your company Cyberoam as a leader in the mid-market segment company, and you aim to capture a sizable segment into the enterprise domain. So would you like to further elaborate on this?
Oh yes, actually, whenever the product company comes out, or whenever any investor is looking at you, they always look how much enterprise business you do.
Mm-hmm.
But starting a product company in India, we were running with the perception India is not known for producing IT product.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I have a huge perception. I have a perception when I go to the other government outside of India, they say, wow, security product from India, I think it will be tough for us to digest. Up to that, our own government thinks, okay, this is the Desi product. With that perception, I can sit to enterprise customer for millions of days, it will never get convinced. So I say, let's just go to the SMB market,
Mm-hmm.
small to medium businesses, where most of the business is driven by reseller. And win the reseller's heart, and they influence the business's decision on buying IT product. And that's exactly what we did. In winning the reseller heart, one of the key issues is you handhold them, because they would love that vendor just gives them too much attention and they just earn the money. The second one is enable them. I mean, don't go and keep charging money. And third key important point is you protect their margin. Let's say if they make 20%, then you protect their margin. So if customer asks you for discount, then we could match and make sure they earn 20%. So this is one of the key powerful, because our base is at low cost location and we could afford that, and that just create a brand inside the SMB, and then one day obviously we will be able to go to the enterprise.
So these bulk of these 65,000 customers across these countries are all SME market predominantly.
So within 65,000 customer, we have about 85,000 box installation.
Okay.
Now 17% of them are roughly enterprise customer.
Okay.
And we were counting around the box, but when we have a large deal, one organization has so many offices, that is also an enterprise customer. So 70% of our customers are.
Okay, well, that's growing. That's going to the.
That's growing.
Okay. So you have been talking a lot about your relationship with Sophos, Cyberoam, Sophos company. So what's this relationship all about?
So quickly, I give a history for 1 minute. For till 2005, I had one challenge of raising investment capital or fund from the venture capitalist or private equity fund, because bunch of crazy idea, product company, only market focus in Middle East, Africa and India, which is called a third world country during that time. In 2005, table turned, everybody wanted to invest where company's market focus is here. And then I went for the best called Carlyle Group, which is one of the biggest private equity player in the world. And they invested money, and since there our growth has been trajectorily going up. Whenever there is investor, there is always an exit event. And in the exit event, I needed to give a good exit to my shareholder and investor. But I wanted to partner with somebody strategic who values whatever we have built so far. They take that, they expand that, and they also provide us a platform. We are very much a successful and numbered player, 1 or 2 or 3 within APAC, Middle East, Africa, Southeast Asia, many regions. But still, we are not that numbered player in Europe or in America. So we needed somebody's channel who can take us over there and value our strengths. So Sophos did not have a strength in this region, and then they also needed engineer. We have a same goal as Sophos. So I think that came as the good merger. Complementary product, complementary geography. Valued going to be strength. They're going to keep Ahmedabad as a base, and we're going to expand that to create because both joint aspiration to grow up to 4,000-5,000 people company. So we needed to grow. So there will be people here, there will be people all around the world. So I think this is the perfect fit for us. Our channel will enjoy selling their product. One of the key, as I mentioned, on a small business enterprise, the small business is runs by reseller. They also have a similar business channel first strategy, so that completely overlapped what we do, and that's why I think this is the best compelling combination.
So the entire developmental works of Cyberoam happens at Ahmedabad.
Correct.
Okay, and the Sophos products you sell through your channels out there?
That sell through our channel. Our product is going to be sell through their channel. There will be lots of cross location development effort will be going on, because the Sophos also have a desktop security, they have a mobile security, so there is a lots of integration across the geography will be happening. For an example, there is an advanced threat protection, then Wi-Fi security. Many of these things, many of these things, they are strong. So our team will work with them and come up with the class product for SMB market, and we will remain channel focused.
Okay, that's fantastic, sir. So with the growth of the economy and with the complicating geopolitical scenario as we have been witnessing in the last, after the meltdown in 2008, security per se, because a lot of dependence on the entire enterprise management is on IT, it is going to have a lot of geopolitical implications. Like China even today doesn't allow some of the sites to open up, and in increasing the internet policing will come into fray. So how, as a network security leader in this space, you see these geopolitical implications coming into technology side of it, and how you intend to address them?
Let's just go one step at a time. Yes, on a government organization, they do not allow certain traffic to come over there. 4 years ago, we quickly realized that, and we started supporting geo-specific firewall or geo-specific traffic handling capacity inside the Cyberoam. Most of the competition has it as well.
Okay.
So it was a common phenomena. So for an example, if ICICI Bank install our firewall, and if they don't want to allow any traffic from China, regardless of a ICICI customer has visited the China, they would do so. It is going to be more and more as the threat and every vector is going to be coming in the market. However, on the ISP side, they haven't started blocking that yet. And what I have heard, what ISP have started, they started identifying certain malware sites and started blocking them rather than just blocking a specific country as a whole. But government to government, I have seen started happening. Some of the Middle East government has a rule from the government that pornographic sites cannot be visible throughout the country. So ISP has to block. So I'm not sure in democratic country how much that is going to be feasible, looking at the people's right. But yes, government organization will look at. We see more and more requests every time, and we have the feature to support.
So apart from the traffic part of it, the other concern is like procuring equipment, security equipment from a country, from a nation which is adverse to the strategic interest of the country. So there might be some, like there was a case of the famous case of the Huawei network equipments and things like that, because security is the policeman. So the policeman is somewhere corrupt or it's corruptible. So how does your products or things like that take care of that?
But that's a country specific, and the government how they see it into a problem. I understand there was a one time I read it that the Huawei was banned, and then they open up again, and because you're putting some equipment. But I think the way the government, either in India or most of the place that I have seen, they're working around by they call it common criteria certificate. This certificate is, they have a different level up to 1 to 7 level, and there is called EAL4 plus, which apply to the industry that we play in, called information security. 7 could be an army equipment or airport security, things like that. That standard is getting popular.
Okay.
If you have built product using that particular standard and the lab has approved that standard, then each government says, wow, then it is a safe, either it could be Chinese or Indian, because we still want to allow a free competition to everywhere. Otherwise, nobody will buy our product in China, and you can, if you block here, they can also block too, and that will just not going to be helping. But something like this is happening. However, China has their own certification rule, because they are not a consume nation, we are on a consume nation, so we have participated in CCC. There is a lab has been established in India that people are in a security product, they should go and register. It's called STQC. It's a lab run by CERT government, and they do common criteria certificate. So I think this is the way around it, that if you get it certified by them, then it is pretty safe without any origin of nation. You can.
So, but how much of these concerns, like after the Snowden episode and the exposures out there, how much of these concerns are really valid, and how much of them are more hyperbolic concerns?
No, see, they come and go all the time. Is that Russian government or Chinese government is involved in doing that? We don't know. When we don't know, you have to go with the assumption that some individual are doing some malicious activity. It just happened to be in some other country. So I don't think people should be afraid. Yes, you build security around it, and try as much as you awareness. Don't leave your password. Many of the other things. Don't open up unwanted email. Email could be any. They just get smarter. You know, it's like a malicious activity, and people get smarter. So if you just block China, then they will just go to Africa and try to do the same thing. So I think the awareness is most important. That people should be aware on certain basic guidelines, and I think these things comes and goes, but I don't think it should affect of doing business with each other.
True. Sir, with the expansion of IT and IT pervasive even in small businesses across, there's a huge need of these cyber warriors, which is being said that the next warfares would be in the domain of cyberspace, and the Department of Electronics and Information Technology has envisaged for the creation of a huge army of cyber warriors. So does Cyberoam sees any role in contributing to that education and awareness about cyber security, network security, and the requisite skills which are required in terms of professional manpower required?
So there are two parts to it. One is what cybersecurity warfare they are doing it to protect.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you should be aware that this you have to protect this, and these are the laws around it that we're going to participate. Are we involved in producing the law? No, but we do work with the government on a case-to-case basis, in Indian government and certain other government, to ensure we can implement something on their requirement. For an example, we have an encryption technology, so it says, okay, well, when government building to government building, when they communicate, they want to use their own encryption technology to secure the data. However, this is still again a protection, right? We don't play as a major role in that. I am a businessman, so I would rather look government should promote security industry to be produce product in India, so which is completely different subject altogether. Like either fund a company here, like China do, or give some tax incentive for creating, because any security company requires a huge R&D first, and then the product and the materialization. So from that perspective, we don't see any government initiative. Yes, for protecting people, protecting them, there are a lot of things we advise them, but there is no incentive. We all have our product built in with all those security, which government is implementing those laws, so we can just get benefit out of it.
So you mean to say that the IT has to first of all incentivize the security industry per se, so that the investment comes and more R&D can happen indigenously.
Correct.
Because skills and development will happen only on top of the industry part.
Correct. So I all hear about it that okay, well, government is doing this the security awareness program and all that. It's just awareness, and then they do all the cyber warfare laws and everything to protect, to educate the people. But none of the program I have heard that to promote, to produce a security product within the India, who can either facilitate us as an Indian or we see everybody. No matter, I mean, even though somebody start a restaurant, they want to go international. Like us, people like me also want to go international. So how the government can promote them either by funding or doing some tax incentives. So we also take our product out and learn the market.
So how strong is the security industry, Indian security industry? Like we have, how many players like Cyberoam who are working in the domain of cyber security?
First of all, the entire market in general globally grows about 14% in the network security.
Okay.
There are two security layers. One is the endpoint, which is the mobile or a desktop, and the one is networking. Network security is a little bit critical because it is an entry point to the organization. So it has a larger impact. If the equipment goes down, equipment get affected, then everybody else in the organization get affected. That particular market on the firewall and on the unified threat management side is growing about 13 to 14% globally. In India is roughly around over 20%. It's growing, so it's a huge opportunity. Looks like a worldwide market is going to be $3.2 billion. India alone roughly scores about I think about $300 to $400 million in network and desktop security, but I think it's continuously growing. It's a high and phenomenal growth. Why? Because the government initiatives of making awareness is working. NASCOM initiative, there is a DSCI, their awareness is, I think, is working. There are lots of news that previously security was a part-time job. Now there will be a career opportunity for the people. So as a whole, it is going. It's a huge market within India.
But apart from Cyberoam, which are the other Indian players who have a dominant footprint out here?
Footprint within the country, which if I think is one is Quick Hill. I think probably everybody is aware of that. And on the network security side, I have seen one player, not much, but Gut Shield was one of them.
So these are the Indian players?
These are the Indian players,
okay.
Yeah. And Quick Hill, I know one of the company based in Chennai called K7.
Okay.
So some of them are there.
But still a very handful of the players.
With a handful of it. Again, in a security, there are two types of player. One who makes a product and the one who provides the services. Like they go to the corporation and check the network out if there is any loophole open or not. There are a bunch of, because India has a lot of services companies. There are a bunch of services companies, but product company is very limited.
Very few of them. Okay. So what is the future plans of Cyberoam, like pertaining to its global expansion and penetrating in deeply into the emerging Indian market? How do you balance it?
So a few of things we see it is in SMB market, and it's pretty important if I talk about that. Wi-Fi is getting very popular in every small business. Forget about the small business, home even. So every small business has a Wi-Fi. The security implementation on Wi-Fi in SMB market is extremely loose. Basically, they just get the equipment, connect it, and anybody can connect it, and they're too lazy. Normal best practice awareness is going on, but in normal best practice awareness, what happens is that they educate, change the password every month. But nobody in SMB, nobody has that type of a time or knowledge how to change the password. So these type of things is getting aware. So I strongly believe there is one more thing is coming, is a Wi-Fi enabled security. So something which we are also working on it. That's something I see it in the future, and that's where we will be also making our footprint to connect. The other thing is also home market is growing fast, and the security concern are also going to the home now. People they watch all kinds of movie. Every little thing is getting into network. For an example, now if you just go to the Samsung TV or LG TV, they also have a Wi-Fi connected. So I do see there is some market will be coming up that to provide some kind of a security or some kind of a content filtering to protect their children at home, and and also also there is another thing is coming up is about advanced threat protection. So basically, you try to predict something which is coming in a future. It's just like one of those movie. The person is going to commit a crime in a future, so they trap them now, or something like that. So these are a huge opportunity. We will be making some waves in that. Also, we are also developing some patentable technology that will definitely give us a little edge over this. More and more security attacks are moving towards the end user.
Okay.
Previously, they were doing it for fun. Now it is they're doing it for crime. As I said previously, in order to rob a bank, you just need a gun and go to the bank and rob a bank. And now you need a computer engineer to rob a bank. So I think this is that has changed, and more user-based attacks are going. So I think protecting or creating security policy around user, it will be a one where everybody is moving, and we already moving there.
So part of its marketing strategies is Cyberoam involved in educating its customers, the SMB and the home segment, which you said. What are you doing in that direction?
Okay, so if you remember, I told you that we went after the channel, we went after the reseller, we may win their heart. One of the key things we found out to win their heart is to educate them first. Then we thought it would be great to just treat this as a social, corporate social responsibility. We took that course and converted into the Cyberoam Academy, which is a full semester worth of course. We have a roughly around 50% of Indian university running Cyberoam in entire India.
Okay.
And what we did is that we started tying up with them. We provide them a free coursework, because that's the key. Why it's a free coursework is appealing, because first of all, security is changing every day. That means course material will keep changing every day. Probably university does not have a time to do all that research, connecting to the market, where we are always connected to the world market, so we can build it in our coursework and we give them. So this is one of the key things that we are doing it to educate, to provide the education within the Indian market.
Okay, that's fantastic. So you have that academic program well built into your own systems which universities are running through. So just last one question. What does the word OM stands in the Cyberoam matrix? What does it stand for?
It's very interesting when you ask. A long time, 2000, we were doing some project with Kingfisher, and I have a friend in Canada who used to sell a used PC, and we decided to import about 200,000 PC, and one PC was only $50, was really cheap because it was a used PC, and then give 5 to 10 PC to pub and create a cyber cafe, because in 1999 cyber cafe was the way, or 2000 cyber cafe was the way. And we come up with a very nice concept. We distribute free ID and a password, and user can go to the this pub cyber cafe, use ID and password. And the mandate was user can go to any pub where Kingfisher station are involved, and they should be able to roam in a cyber. So that's why Cyberoam name.
Okay, so it's roaming in the cyber world, enabling it across. So that's how Cyberoam carried its word from. So here we come to the close of this wonderful interaction with Mr. Patel. It was a man of real commitment and dedication, who has really spent more than a decade in building up the security product industry in the country, and a very focused person who has taken up his products across the globe, and with not much fanfare. 150 countries is not a small footprint for a company which says that it deals in the mid segment space of it. The suggestions or whatever things he has put up to the government, like let's promote the security industry, the Make in India thing should take up the security industry in its rightful context. They do have their Cyberoam Academy, where they keep on giving in the content for developing cyber warriors as the industry is doing it across. So we hope that more such people like Mr. Patel, his interaction will influence them, inspire them to come back and to start something phenomenal with rightful business intent, and obviously carrying their technological expertise to India. Mr. Patel, he comes from the land of Gujarat, the leader of whom is leading the country, and in its rightful say that in these Achhe Din, let us hope that in times to come, things start getting better, and homegrown product companies like Cyberoam should develop and flourish more and more. We wish them all the best, and thanks a lot for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.